Welcome to the House of Broken Promises. I said I was going to do half of each season, each part, but I accidentally said swear word, a very inappropriate word, and I could not edit it out without trimming the video and cutting out half the video practically. So yeah, but whatever. So next up is jumping. This one has the jumping for fun segment from the original episode appearing at the beginning of the episode this time. This is where they say hello to new friend. This is Dipsy. Promo comes from. I only remember seeing the ones with Dipsy and Poe, and there was also one with all four Teletubbies that was basically a shortened version of the theme song. Some of the narrator's dialogue is off sync, unlike in Dance with the Teletubbies, and also the TV event music and the windmill whooshing sound is different. The TV event is different. There's a completely different TV event where children in New York City jump around. Like the song "Jump Around." And yeah, I honestly could have sworn this was a Sesame Street segment. I think actually Sesame Workshop co-produced some of these TV events because I remember their logo showing up at the end of some episodes. So yeah, Poe's chosen for the TV event, and the audio of her giggling when she gets chosen in many of the later episodes is used. So yeah, honestly, could have sworn I've seen a version of this episode with the original TV event. I'm not sure. The music in this TV event is an alternate version of the original music. One of the kids' shoes has a picture of Anastasia on it from the movie Anastasia. Grandma, it's me, Anastasia. And after the TV event, the magical event starts right away after the baby son giggles, which is the dancing bear. And like in the original episode, the bear dances twice. And and it's kind of similar to the version from Humpty Dumpty, where it shows the same clip of the baby son screaming, except there's no fade effect to that. And then after that, they do the jumping dance. It's the same version from Going on a Train. It's practically the same version from Feeding Baby Penguins, where it's the second version of the dance where they do it on the path. There's actually quite a few episodes with this version, and very few episodes with the original version of the dance, which I honestly don't remember at all. I remember seeing this exact version because, basically, the when Tiki Wiki falls down, he rolls down the hill, and he sneaks up on the other Teletubbies. And I only remember seeing two episodes where that happened, this and another one. And every other time I saw this dance, I always expected that to happen, but it never did. So yeah. But here, when he sneaks up on the other Teletubbies, they do the dance again. Unlike in Feeding Baby Penguins, he doesn't do it again, and they don't see the windmill spinning or stopping. So yeah, Dipsy's the missing Teletubby, and Lala's the Boo Shouter. This episode aired on April 13th, 1998, the same day as Finding Chocolate Eggs. In the pledge drive airing of this episode, before Dancing Bear, they do the Rock by Baby segment from Naughty Sock. I'm not really sure if that's true, but yeah. And then after that, the bear dances once, and I think I heard the windmill stop spinning, though I also heard they do the shortened version of the jumping dance. I won't believe that, because that sounds more realistic. And Tinky Winky is the Boo Shouter in this version. Got some peanut butter stuck in my teeth. I ate a peanut butter and jelly sandwich today. Haven't had those in years. I should brush my teeth later. In the rerun airing, from what I've heard, it has the main segment from Making Lanterns where Lala can't find her tubby toast and stuck in her antenna. And this is the second time, actually, Lala's toast got stuck in her antenna. That was also happened in the tubby toast accident segment, which we'll see later. And Then they do the Calypso dance at the end, which is the same version from Double Bass. So yeah, and in the Sprout airing, uh, what happens in the Sprout airing? I think it's the second half of the throwing episode. It's like Lala is playing with her ball and everyone's trying to catch it, but I think like no, actually in the rerun airing they do the Magic House before the Calypso dance is the same version from top right, or is this the top right window version? I keep messing up my words. In the Sprout airing, the second half of throwing, they're trying to catch Lala's ball, and I think they watch the magic tree. I think that error's fixed where like it doesn't show like the windmill zooming in clip and the regular footage of the Teletubbies arriving at their destination. But yeah, I think they do their round and round dance at the end, the extended version. Next up is Bubbles. This is an episode I remember quite well, at least I thought I did. I don't remember like the first half of this episode. So it has the scene from Dandelion Clocks where Poe is having a blowing day. She's blowing like the blankets off the beds and the tubby toast off the table, and then she blows the Teletubbies up the slide, but she can't blow Tinky Winky up there because he's too heavy. This segment is shown on the Actimates introductory video from 1999. And like, yeah, these Actimates toys, they could interact with Teletubbies episodes and videos, and they also made ones of Barney, Arthur, and DW. And there's something weird in that introductory video. It shows everything up until Nunu tidies up the Tubby Toast, and then it shows a silent clip of the baby sun setting from Tubby Bye Bye, and it shows like a black screen with like the credits from the episode. But in the introductory portion of the video, there's like scenes of children watching the episode, and they're watching like the rest of the episode. They watch the part where they're going up the slide, and also the same is said for the Barney episode. Yeah, they're watching. Yeah, they don't show the full episodes of either of the shows, so yeah, it's very weird. Something else that's even weird, I don't even remember this. But first of all, some of the dialogue's off sync. But like something I don't remember is that when Poe sees the windmill spinning, the first part of the Magical Event tune is heard. Because this episode originally took place before Magical Events. Which, yeah, I remember this in some of the home videos, like in Baby Animals. But I don't remember it happening in any of the TV episodes. And ironically, like, none of these episodes, as far as my knowledge, have a magical event. Unless, like, an alternate airing. So, yeah. I remember, like, someone uploaded a custom windmill clip of this exact scene of Poe seeing the windmill spinning for a TV event. And it actually had the regular whooshing sound and much different TV event music. And that's how I remember this segment going. But no, the TV event with the kids blowing bubbles, this is a TV event I remember very vividly. I remember this one part where one of the kids was trying to blow with a triangular bubble wand. So yeah. And then there's the segment from gymnastics where Lala's playing with her ball indoors. Apparently the segment was shown on sproutonline.com. They had like pages where you can see scenes from various episodes of their shows. I think I remember seeing a few scenes from the Barney episode, How's Your Garden Grow? That's a rare episode to see on that channel. I'm planning on doing a Barney video kind of similar to this. But that won't be for a while. My teeth hurt. And they don't hurt. I got some of the peanut butter out. So yeah. This segment, I kind of remember this, but I only remember on the favorite things video. And the opening shot in this segment is different than in the original episode. It's the same opening shot from the UK version of Bubbles when Lala's ball was changing different sizes. And the narrator's dialogue is different than in Favorite Things also. He doesn't say Dipsy was asleep all the time. He says Dipsy was asleep. Just that. At the end of the segment, the Teletubbies say, Teletubbies loving Nunu very much. And then it shows a closing shot and they say the line again, which I don't remember. And then they go do. Apparently, like, the ending to this episode is exactly the same as the nursery rhymes. Because, like, it's the same exact version of the happy dance from that episode. Where it shows the same closing shot and the same clips of Baby Sun giggling at the beginning and end. Except, like, the audio of her giggling at the beginning is different. Like, I might remember this having the happy dance, I'm not sure. There's one memory I have with the happy dance. I don't know if this was a dream or not, but basically at the end of the dance, the windmill stops spinning, and the Teletubbies say "oh" and run off. I've seen so many recreations of this on YouTube, and yet none of them are accurate. Like, not as accurate. But yeah, I don't know. It's just very weird. Like, the precise moment of, like, the windmill stopping sound being heard is not really correct on most of them. It starts, like, the stopping sound starts right, uh like half a second, like less than half a second before it cuts to it stopping. And I remember the Teletubbies saying "uh-oh" was the audio from the theme song. Actually, I could have sworn it was the clip of the Teletubbies saying "uh-oh" from the Happy Walk segment. Maybe that's why I'm thinking it was a dream. So yeah, Tinky Winky is the missing Teletubby, and I realized it was the same intro from Dandelion Clocks, ironically. And Poe's the Boo Shouter. The end credits go a bit slower than usual. This episode aired on April 14th, 1998, the same day as Turban. In the Pledge Drive airing, apparently I heard is the same segment from the original UK version where Tinky Winky is just going to sleep. And after that, I may or may not remember this, but this is a segment from Orange Picking, where Lala's ball gets stuck on the slide and the Nunu has to get down. I may or may not remember that. I'm not sure if I had dance afterward, but apparently I heard it's the running away dance. It's the extended version. And the baby son screams at the end. And Tinky Winky is the Boo Shouter. I think I remember these alternate airings all had the alternate ending music. I think, like, the alternate ending music might have been the alternate airings of the episodes, Pledge Drive, Sprout, and Rerun. Or, well, maybe Pledge Drive and Rerun, because, like, all the recordings of the episodes I've seen on YouTube are the regular airings, and they don't have it. So yeah, that's unfortunate. In the rerun airing, from what I heard, the three ships shows up in the middle of the episode. I think it's the same version from Collecting Stones, where the same opening shots and the rare low-pitched opening music is heard, but the baby son giggles instead of the windmill stopping. In a lot of the episodes, both the UK and US episodes, where the magical events end with the baby son giggling, if you listen, like, real closely, you can hear a little tiny bit of the windmill stopping sound. So yeah, I don't think most of these episodes were originally going to have the windmill stopping after the events, but, like, maybe it was just some sort of sound error. Not all episodes have it though. But I have been listening to a lot of them, and some of them, like, you don't hear the sound at all. And then after that is I think is the same segment, Lala playing with her ball indoors. And then after that, I think there's no dance at all or anything after the segment. And I think Lala is the Boo Shouter. In the Sprout airing, I'm not sure if this is accurate, but it has the segment where the Teletubbies say "uh-oh" to each other for like a really long time from Fungi the dolphin, and then they do the stepping dance, the same version from My Mom's a Doctor. I don't think it's the same version exactly because like in My Mom's a Doctor, at the very beginning of the dance, there's like no music until the Teletubbies do the left foot in, left foot out part of the dance. Like, yeah, that also happens with the running away dance, and I think numbers two, and I think maybe there could be a version of there could be an episode with that version of the dance where they fix that. So yeah, actually barely remember the stepping dance. Honestly, there's one episode about it or with it. We'll get to later. Dipsy's the boo shouter in this airing. Next up is Shadows. Yeah, this one has the twisty dance at the beginning. It's the same version from Little Baby. Like, of course, that one. Uh, yeah, it's a good dance. Actually, because one of those episode had the rare extended version of the dance. There's an extended version that, as far as my knowledge, is only used in like one US dubbed episode. Where like, yeah, they do it twice. There's some episodes in the UK series where Tinky Winky is seen posing at the end from up close, like close up shot of him posing. And this was supposed to be used for the extended version where the Teletubbies cheer for him, and they say again the same audio from when the dancing bear dances twice, and then like Poe messes up a little bit when she starts to do the dance the second time. It's very weird. It's almost exactly the same when they do the dance the second time, unlike another one we'll get to later. But yeah, I could have sworn it was in this episode, but I I don't think it was. And then the TV event starts. This one has an interesting note. And when Tinky Winky's antenna lights up, the original audio of him giggling from the older episodes is used. But when the other Teletubbies see his stomach lighting up, they all cheer with the audio from the later episodes when Tinky Winky gets chosen, like in the original UK version of this episode. Uh, I don't think I remember that, but this also happens in another episode. I don't think I remember this segment, this TV event, honestly. The baby son's giggling at the end is different. This next segment I do kind of remember, but I remember being so different. This is the only thing I remember when I saw this episode on Sprout. It's the pose hiding game segment from I Want to Be a Vet, where they each hide behind the tubby toaster and sneak up on each other. And the Nunu tidies up all the Teletubbies' favorite things. This one uses the Right Path 1 opening shot, but uses the original opening music for some reason. I don't remember that at all. And I could have sworn this had like a much different like ending where like yeah, Nunu ties up the Teletubbies' favorite things except for Poe's scooter, and then Poe starts like chasing him on the scooter, and it's very funny. But that doesn't happen. The baby starts sighing at the end is different. Uh, the little baby intros used were Poe's the missing Teletubby, and Poe is also the boo shouter with the slow end credits. So yeah, and in the pledge drive airing, let's see, it's the opening scene from Music with Debbie 1, where the Teletubbies run along the hills and say "uh-oh," and then Poe pops up and says "boo, uh-oh." I've seen this segment on like Dance with the Teletubbies, and they cut out the part where Poe and the others see the windmill spinning, but that part was shown on the Baby Animals video. And I remember being like so confused. And then after that is uh, the scene from Turban, apparently, where the Teletubbies are walking hand in hand, walking all around the land, of course, the rhyme, until they see their favorite things. And they do the Calypso dance. It's the same version from the Sunday special version of Spiders, and from what I heard, it's the same version from Double Bass, except at the end of the dance, they show the footage of the Teletubbies seeing the windmill spinning from making flowers, but like it shows the windmill stopping. I remember an ending sort of like this, like two endings actually. Actually, like think it was a dream I had, where after the Teletubbies bounced to the back of the house, just cut to the windmill stopping. And I remember another dance had something like that. We'll get to that later. So yeah, this ending sounds like so weird, unrealistic, honestly. But yeah, uh, Tinky Winky's the boo shouter in this version. This episode aired on April 15th, 1998, the same day as My Dad's a Tram Driver. And now I realize why I don't like making these videos because my neck is hurting. Yeah, my neck is hurting from doing this. I wish there was a better way for me to sit down like this, but since this camera won't stay up like this, you can't see my face. But I like when you see my face, even if it's kind of creepy. And in the rerun airing, it's the segment from Lambs uh, where Tinky Winky is playing with the uh, control panel, and each lever makes a ba sound. So yeah, and then after the TV event is the squeaky scooter segment from Going on a Train, where Poe's scooter has a loud, bad squeaking sound. I don't. I feel like I might have seen the segment. It's kind of a basic segment. I've seen a lot of those kinds where like they all feel the same. Like yeah, there's a ton of generic segments where Poe's our scooter. I may have seen it. I don't remember the loud squeak sound that her scooter made. That kind of creeped me out. And then they do the tiptoe dance. It's the same version from the Sunday special version of Statues, where it's the same version from Cafe Eggs, but like the windmill stops spinning after the Teletubbies saying "uh-oh." So yeah, Lala is the boo shouter. And in the Sprout airing, from what I've heard, it has the opening segment from a Helicopter, where Poe is playing at the control panel. I might remember the segment, but something weird about the segment is because the control panel looks much different in this episode than it does in any of the other episodes. So yeah, it's very weird. I think it was one of the first episodes filmed. Then after a TV event is the scene from the original UK version where Poe's looking after the Teletubbies' favorite things, and they go watch the Magic House, the top right window version, and the windmill stops spinning. And uh, Dipsy is the boo shouter. Now I'm gonna take a little break. Don't worry, it won't be that long. Okay, I'm back. I honestly blame the phone case, not the actual phone itself, for not going the angle that I want it to. I really want like a tripod for my phone. I know they make those. So yeah. Next up is guitars, or as originally it was called, a flamenco guitar. This episode is a lot different. Well, not exactly. So this has the opening segment from Going on a Train, where they go down the slide and out the door, and then down the slide and out the door again. So yeah. I honestly could have sworn it was the same version from Digging in the Sand for Crabs, because the same opening shot. I think it was the Right Path 2 opening shot. And I think the Teletubbies audio of them saying "uh-oh" was different as well. I actually could have sworn I had the opening shot from Ned's Bicycle, where it was the Home Hill 1 opening shot with the windmill whooshing sound being heard. But I was thinking of a different episode. So yeah. And then the TV event, the later audio of Poe getting chosen for TV event, that was originally used in painting with hands and feet, but later used in most episodes starting in 1998 is used. This is the case for a lot of episodes. I probably won't mention it like after this, like what I did in the original version of this video. And yeah, I remember this TV event so well. I remember it was on the Play with the Teletubbies video game. The two girls are playing with the guitar. They're playing Pop Goes the Weasel. So yeah, and something I don't remember is that when the baby son's shown giggling at the end of the TV event, she's heard screaming like in the original version of the episode. I don't remember that at all. So yeah, and then the guitar segments where like Lala plays the guitar very badly. It's become a meme. I mean, it's one of the older memes. It was a meme like back before like the term meme was ever a thing. Way back in 2007 YouTube days. So yeah. And this has an alternate ending, which, yeah, I remember when I saw the UK version of this episode in Arabic on YouTube back around 2009 or so. I remember being shocked by the ending. Basically, like, the Teletubbies see the voice trumpet rising for Tubby Bye Bye, and they say, uh-oh, as if the windmill stopped spinning and run off. That was, like, a very odd ending. But yeah. But here, that does not happen. Instead, it shows the baby son giggling, and they do the round and round dance. And a lot of episodes with the round and round dance, it's the same version from throwing. And like, it's always like in episodes where like almost everything else remains the same. This is the only one I can think of where it's like kind of different. The opening segment's different, but everything else is kind of the same. And every episode, the baby son's giggling at the beginning and end are different. So yeah. The voice trumpets rising slightly delayed. The Going on a Train intros used in the PBS airing where like Dipsy is the missing Teletubby and is also the Boo Shouter. And in the Pledge Drive version, from what I've heard, like basically like the original ending is used, but instead of the voice trumpet, the windmill is seen spinning. The normal windmill animation they usually see in a lot of episodes. And they go watch the Magic House. It's the same version from Delilah Packing, where it's the bottom right window version. And the windmill stops spinning. And oh, my tooth hurts. In the rerun airing, the opening segment is the segment from number 6 where the Teletubbies pop up behind the hills. I do vaguely remember seeing that segment. And instead of the Magic House, they do the Dancing Bear. It's the same version from the Sunday special version of this episode. The bear dances once and the windmill stops spinning. I got a notification of my favorite That's So Raven episodes. I'll watch that later. And in Sprout airing, from what I at least remember, instead of the round and round dance, I think they did the Calypso dance, and it was the same version from Spiders, which the same version of the dance that's seen in a lot of episodes. Pose the missing Teletubby in the Sprout airing. Lala's the Boo Shouter in the Pledge Drive airing. Tinky Winky is the Boo Shouter in the rerun airing. I think all these airings had the alternate ending music except for the regular airing, obviously. This aired on April 16th, 1998, the same day as football. Next up is Numbers 2. This is the first Numbers episode to air on PBS. Ironically, not Numbers 1. So this has the Time for Tubby Toast segment from Ned's Bicycle. And I vaguely remember seeing this segment. I honestly thought I was watching Here Come the Teletubbies, but no. But there's something a bit unusual about this. The baby son's sighing slightly different at the beginning. There's an extra audio of her sighing. And the Teletubbies dialogue is actually taken from some of the other episodes when, like, the Tubby Toast appears. They're saying, like, Dipsy Toast instead of counting to 4. So, yeah, very weird. But this is, like, one of the few episodes I remember with the original windmill whooshing sound, like, from season 1. I remember, like, most episodes had the whooshing sound from washing the bus, but I very rarely ever heard the original sound other than in the theme song. I only remember hearing a lot of the home videos. So yeah, yeah. Most of these episodes aired. This whole season aired in 1998, which is when they stopped using the original whooshing sound regularly, at least. So yeah, but a lot of these segments are from, like, the older episodes. I either remember it had a different sound or, like, had a different segment entirely. And then a TV event. The TV events for the numbers episodes, like jumping, are different as well. They're filmed in Florida, and yeah, they have the children learning about the different numbers. This is one of only 2 numbers TV events I clearly remember. I mean, sort of clearly. But yeah, I remember mostly the parts with the mail trucks and the fire trucks, the yellow fire trucks. Like, when the fire trucks appear, they each appear, like, just magically, like, out of nowhere. It's very weird, but I kind of liked it. Lala is chosen for this TV event. I think I heard Lala is not chosen for any of the UK numbers TV events, so this is ironic. The music at the beginning of when they're singing 10 children sitting on a wall is slightly different than usual. And then there's the Magic Cloud segment from Christening, uh, where, like, cloud appears and rains magic flowers, planting little magic flowers. Yeah, the baby son giggling at the beginning is different, and uh, the narrator's dialogue is re-recorded again. A clip of this segment with Lala playing with her ball was used in a promo for WNET that I've seen on YouTube a long while ago. I was kind of, like, wondering what episode that was from, and I realized it was from this. And then at the end, they do the splashing dance. The splashing dance rarely ever showed up in the US series, and I could have sworn I've seen every single episode with this dance, and yet I remember most of those episodes did not have it at all, ironically. I know that this episode does have it. I remember seeing, like, before the episode got uploaded, I saw a video of both that and the Magic Cloud segment, but then they got deleted, but then the full episode got uploaded. It's the same version from Ice Cream Sunday, but without the opening shot. So yeah. And Tinky Winky's the missing Teletubby, and the Ice Cream Sunday ending is used where Lala is the boo shouter. This aired on April 17th, 1998, the same day as Naughty Sausage. Yeah. In a pledge drive airing version, apparently it's the beginning segment is the segment from Feeding the Monkey, where Poe and Tiki Wiki are fighting over who should have the last piece of Tubby Toast. I don't remember the segment, but appearing at, like, the end of an episode, and it, like, cut out the part with the windmill spinning and just showed a closing shot and the baby son giggling. And then after the TV event is the Animal Parade, which apparently is the same version from Feeding the Monkeys. I'm not sure. But yeah. And I think the Magic Cloud segment is cut. And the Stamping Stepping Dance is used as the same version from Making Lanterns. And I think the alternate ending music is used in this version. In the rerun airing, it's the from what I heard, it's the opening segment from Fungi the Dolphin, where the Teletubbies are hopping over to the Tubby Custard Machine. And then after that, it's the Pose Journey segment from Mark and Topus. I think that's how you pronounce it. Yeah, I don't know if I remember that one. That one I do not remember. Honestly, it's the TV event that's the only part I remember very clearly. The rest of this episode I do not remember at all. So yeah. And then after that segment, the animal parade just starts right away. It's the same version from Giraffes, where the baby son's shown giggling at the end of the event instead of the windmill stopping. And the Sprout airing, from what I heard, is the Four Happy Teletubbies segment from Jumping. Yeah, ironic. It's four Happy Teletubbies in an episode about number 2. So yeah. And then, yeah, that's all I know. Rolling, this is an episode that I don't know if I remember, honestly. But yeah. This one starts with the jumping dance from Washing Up. I think this might have been that other episode I saw where Tiki Wiki sneaks up on the other Teletubbies and they see the windmill spinning. So yeah. And then the TV event. I honestly remember the TV event was shortened and when I saw this. And then after as the rolling segment, instead of the narrator saying Poe fell down, she said, or they said she fell right off of her scooter. So yeah. And then they do the dancing bear. It's the same version from Lorette tap dancing, except they show the baby son giggling at the beginning, and they use a different clip of the baby son giggling at the end. And then again, there's another segment because like the rolling segment's actually really short. So yeah, but basically it's the segment from Helicopter where Lala's ball is stuck in a tree, much like before. The baby son shown giggling at the end instead of the windmill spinning. And Poe's the missing Teletubby, and the hermit crab's ending apparently is used, where like Lala's the boo shouter. So yeah. And in the pledge drive area, it's the scene from Helicopter at the beginning where Poe is playing with the control panel. And then the rolling segment is completely cut. And instead of the opening shots from balancing, I think from the opening segment is used. And it cuts to the windmill spinning for the dancing bear. I mean, I think I got it right. Yeah, I got it right. By the way, the Lala's ball stuck in the tree segment starts with the rabbit song, but from Funny Day, but slightly shortened, with some of the rabbit clips being cut. Which I don't remember that at all. Poe is the missing Teletubby in this version as well, and Dipsy is the boo shouter, I think, with the alternate ending music. In the rerun airing is the Humpty Dumpty segment from like the episode of the same name. I may have seen this segment before. I don't really know. I know it's on the Nursery Rhymes video. But yeah. And then after TV event, it's the Round and Round dance. It's the shortened version. Uh, so yeah. And then the Lala's ball stuck in a tree segment is not in this version. Instead, the windmill stops spinning. Oh, at the end of the pledge drive airing, it says that the walking dance is done as the long version, the extended version. So yeah, and Tinky Winky is the Boo Shouter in the rerun airing, and Dipsy is the missing Teletubby. And the Sprout airing, from what I've heard, it's the segment from Naughty Duck where the Teletubbies are, or where Lala and Po are making adjustments. I think it has the Right Path 2 opening shot without the windmill on screen. I remember most episodes had the version with the windmill on screen. I'm not sure if they would fit that segment in this. But apparently, they do the bumping dance in the Sprout version after TV event. And it's the same version from Feeding Chickens US version, which we'll get to later. And the dancing bear just appears at the end. It's the same version from Hanukkah, where it shows the same clip of the baby son giggling at the end. And no, oh god, there's a freaking hair on my camera. I think Tinky Winky is the Boo Shouter in this version. Music with Debbie 2. This one is almost exactly the same as the original version. Some of the dialogue's off sync in the opening segment where the Teletubbies are arriving. Here come the Teletubbies. I don't remember the segment at all, honestly. I don't know, maybe. And then the TV event starts with this is the one I remember with the Two Little Dicky Birds song, but I don't remember the Sausages song. Yeah, that really loud one went. I forget what they say. Yeah, I don't remember that at all. And the baby son's giggling afterwards is different. And also at the end of the main segment, it's the Two Little Teletubbies segment. These two are probably the only parts of this episode I remember. And then afterwards, they do the happy dance, and much like the round and round dance, every episode with the happy dance, almost every episode has the same version from nursery rhymes, and that being the only thing different with most of the episodes. So yeah. And wow, this list is all wrong. Dipsy is the missing Teletubby and Boo Shouter once again with the slow end credits. It was aired on June 16th, 1998. And the previous episode, Rolling, aired on June 15th. And the pledge drive airing is the Grand Old Duke of York segment from the episode of the same name. I may or may not remember that. And then the Butterfly segment from Tweet Tweet, ironically. And what comes after that? And then the Magic House with the bottom right window version and the windmill stopping. Yeah, Dips is still the Boo Shouter. And the rerun airing it's the segment from Numbers 1 where Lala just goes out for a walk and then nothing happens, and then they do the happy dance. And I'm not sure if I remember an episode where the happy dance came at the beginning of the episode. I only remember episodes where the happy dance came at the end, but there are two where it comes kind of in the middle. We'll get to later. And then from what I've heard, it's then from what I heard, they do the stepping dance at the end. Or like, yeah, it's the stepping dance from Going for a Walk, which I may or may not remember. And uh, Poe is the boo shouter in this version. So yeah, the Sprout airing from what I heard, it's Poe's slide trick segment from Seesaw. Yeah, Poe like goes up the slide but stops halfway. I may or may not remember that segment. Apparently, from what I heard, they cut out the part where the Teletubbies are seen running out the door, like outside. Like right as the door opens, it just cuts to the windmill spinning for the TV event. And then instead of the happy dance, they do the three ships, and it's the same version from Playing in the Rain. I think not really sure because like that had like the baby son not being shown giggling at the beginning of the event, which I don't remember at all. It starts right away after the baby son giggles, and the windmill stops spinning. The voice jump is almost halfway up in the regular airing, by the way. I need to organize this better. Lala's the missing Teletubby, and Dipsy's the boo shouter. Or, no, is he? Lala's the is the boo shouter. Yeah, Lala's the boo shouter. Next up is feeding the chickens. This is a very weird episode, and not exactly the episode I was thinking of when I first saw a clip of it, at least. So yeah, this one starts with the bumping dance. It's very weird how it starts. It starts with like the Home Hill 1 opening shot, uh, with the rare music playing, like, yeah, and then it just shows another clip of the baby son giggling. And it's the same version from Music with Debbie 1, the US version of Music with Debbie 1, but the beginning part of the dance when the Teletubbies come out is shot from a different angle. And there's a very shocking ending. I have the hiccups. There's a very shocking ending uh, where the Teletubbies see the windmill spinning behind them. At first, I thought there was like no pink sparkles until they look back at the camera, but if you look closely, you can see them. They're just not. They're just kind of off center from like the windmill's propeller at first until like the camera shifts over to like the right slightly, and the Teletubbies say "uh oh" and run off. And it's the same audio of them saying "uh oh" from Music with Debbie 2. And yeah, I remember seeing this on Sprout on Demand, but I remember it being so different. I remember it was the shortened version of the dance. I remember the windmill whooshing sound from the later episodes once again was used. I'm not sure if the audio of the Teletubbies saying "uh oh" was the same, but yeah. And yeah, I kind of remember the windmill sparkles weren't also not shown either. So yeah, they go watch the TV event with those kids feeding the chickens. I don't think I remember this TV event at all, but the baby son screaming sound at the end is different. And then there's the tubby, or not, the dirty seat segment from Urban Birds, where Dipsy spills his tubby custard on his chair and he doesn't want to sit in it. It's a long segment. The narrator's dialogue is different, and the original opening shot from the Tubby Toast accident segment is used. So yeah, very weird segment, very funny. When they finally got to sit down, but they were in the wrong places, and yeah, oh, my neck. And at the end of the segment, it showed the shot of Tinky Winky eating his tubby custard from ice skating, and you can still hear the audio of them giggling when they run off to see the windmill stopping, which shows the closing shot. Uh, and yeah, Tinky Winky is the missing Teletubby, and Lala is the boo shouter with the slow end credits. In the Pledge Drive airing, it's the Under the Arch segment from Going for a Walk, where they're going under the arch next to the control panel where Nunu usually goes under. I might remember the segment, but yeah. And then after TV events, I think is the Round and Round dance. It's the extended version, I think, from Puppies, uh, but without the opening shots. It just starts right away. Or wait, no, that's a different one that I'm thinking of. That's a different airing that I'm thinking of. And then apparently it's the This Little Teletubby segment from Our Pig Winnie. Uh, yeah, where they're playing like their own version of This Little Piggy. I don't think I remember that segment. That's another basic segment, kind of. It's a very iconic one, I guess. One of the earlier segments. I remember seeing a lot of the season one, like main segments. So yeah, that was probably that. And uh, Dipsy is the boo shouter, and Lala's the missing Teletubby. In the rerun airing, it's the Quack Quack segment from Sarah Fraser and the Ducks. I think I might remember seeing this when I was little, and I'm not thinking of the Baby Animals video. I think I remember the narrator's dialogue in the Dirty Seat segment was also the same. And they go watch the Magic Tree after that segment. It's the same version from Walking in the Woods. And I think like after the windmill stops spinning, the camera cuts to the voice trumpet instead of fading to it, which happens in mostly Lion and Bear episodes. Gypsy's a boo shouter again, and yeah. In the Sprout area, apparently it's the opening segment from Urban Birds, where Lala is playing with her ball. I do remember seeing the segments quite clearly. Seems like a basic segment that you would probably remember. And then at the end of the episode, they do the round and round dance. I think it's the same version from Puppies, but without the opening shots. Gypsy's the boo shouter with the alternate ending music, and uh, Gypsy's also missing Teletubby. I think I'm gonna stop this part soon. Okay, next up is numbers 3. We still haven't gotten to numbers 1 yet. This one's a very weird episode because it has a few things happening that could have sworn to happen in a different episode. But yeah, this one has the falling down dance at the beginning. Basically, I do remember seeing this falling down dance at the beginning because of something happening. But this one's very weird because it has the Field 3 opening shot from Making Flowers with some rare opening music, and the first few seconds of the beginning music of the dance is cut. But I could have sworn this dance started the same way as in Finding Chocolate Eggs, but no. And this is what I do remember, the rare windmill clip that everyone talks about, where the camera zooms into the windmill spinning up close. And yeah. And then like the TV event music from Little Baby is used, which is used in live episodes. But I don't remember being this episode. I kind of remember being the music from Baby Animals. And then I watched the TV event. Tinky Winky gets chosen. It's the original audio of him giggling when he gets chosen is used. That's like I could have sworn like almost every episode with him getting chosen was the audio from the later episodes, but I only remember like the original audio from the home videos. The music for the 10 children sitting on a bench song is a bit higher pitched, and the baby son's giggling at the end is slightly different. And then Lala finds a counting book. She counts 3 rabbits from the guessing game episode. The narrator's dialogue is re recorded, unlike in bedtime stories and lullabies. That's the case with a lot of these. And then after the baby son's shown giggling, it immediately cuts to the 3 ships with a slightly alternate version of the magical event tune. Like, yeah, it's a bit mixed up. And it's the same version from Bubble Pictures. And this is the first US episode to have the windmill stopping. They waited until episode 14 to have that. So, yeah. And Poe is the missing Teletubby and also the Boo Shouter. And they credited Simon Sheldon as Tinky Winky, even though I don't think any of his scenes show up in this video or in this episode. And an interesting thing is that both the TV event and magical event do not have the Teletubbies saying "uh-oh" when they start. So yeah, that's quite interesting. It was aired on June 18th, 1998. And in the Pledge Drive airing, from what I heard, is the running away dance. It's the same version from Balancing. I may or may not remember this because, like, at the end of the dance, it cuts to the windmill spinning for a TV event, much like before. I think it might have been like I don't know how the dance started. I think it might have started with some. I think it started with the Field 7 opening shot. Was it? Let me look it up. Yeah, Field 7, or it might have been Field 8. I'm not sure. I think I remember seeing an episode with Field 8 used as an opening shot during the opening segment, but I'm not sure which one it was. But yeah, I think like yeah, uh, something weird is that in live episodes with the running away dance, there's like the opening music for the beginning of the dance is shortened, and in some they just use like a little like loop of that shortened music. When the only episode I can think of that has the original like full music was in the original episode Numbers One and Dance with the Teletubbies, but I'm not sure. So yeah. And then apparently it's the other counting book segment from Caterpillars where Poe is counting 4 Teletubbies. The episode about the number 3. Yeah, that's very weird. I think the magical event, the 3 ships is the same version from Ball Games with Debbie instead. I think it starts with the one of the rabbit clips from Dance with the Teletubbies where the rabbit's just looking at the camera and then just hops away, which I don't think I remember that. But yeah, Poe's the missing Teletubby again, and also the Boo Shouter. And in the rerun airing, it has the segment from the second UK version, numbers 3, where the Tinky Winky, Dipsy, and Lala are playing uh, around in Teletubby Land. They find 3 different things, and then Poe finds them, and she joins them. Very nice segment. And yeah, and that's it. So yeah, Poe or Tinky Winky's the missing Teletubby, and yeah, And in the Sprout, sorry about that. In the Sprout airing, the opening segment is a segment from Emily washing the pony, where Lala is playing with Dipsy's hats, and then at the end they do Dancing Bear instead. Dances once. I'm not sure if the windmill stops spinning or not. Pose them, sing Teletubby again, and Dipsy's the boo shouter. Well, that's it for now. This has been an hour long. I didn't even expect that to happen, so see you later.